Are you tired? Not, I stayed up late tired. Exhaustion is for people who are tired from being tired. Do you wake up exhausted? Go to bed exhausted? Feel exhausted while actively doing nothing? Then ask your doctor about exhaustion. Exhaustion is clinically proven to make you say things like, I literally cannot. I'll do it tomorrow. And I need to lie down. Possible side effects include forgetting why you walked into a room, staring blankly at your phone for 20 minutes, canceling plans that you made yourself, and becoming irrationally angry when someone says, Can I ask you a quick question? Exhaustion may also cause you to mistake basic human interaction for an overwhelming task. Do not take exhaustion if you are already tired. Actually, never mind, you already are. Exhaustion, because you can never get enough sleep. Chaos in the midst of chaos isn't funny, but chaos in the midst of order is. Steve Martin. Insert theme song here. This is the Daily Sarcast. I give you the news and maybe a laugh. I'm Lindsay Vernick, and today is August 11, 2026. Okay, so if you can't tell, I'm literally exhausted. I'm going to get into it more in my Lindsay Life update, but I wanted to make sure that I got a pod out for today because, again, this is the last week of the podcast for like a month or so I wanted to make sure that I did one. But I do have to admit, this isn't my best work by far, so I understand if you're disappointed. But you will also understand when you learn about what I've just been through. So in real news, so Trump just signed an executive order yesterday directing the government to narrow its recommended childhood vaccine schedule to 11 routine immunizations. So the government says the goal is to give children what Trump called gold standard protection, while aligning the U.S. more closely with countries that recommend fewer vaccines. This new approach would change recommendations around vaccines, including hepatitis B, COVID, and flu. And gold standards is a very much Trump phase. Everything has to be the best, right? We have gold standard protection with him, gold standard economy, a gold standard golf course. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he called a parking ticket a gold standard parking ticket. But this one is obviously a lot more serious than that. Medical organizations have obviously pushed back on these changes, and the debate is now putting childhood vaccination policy right in the middle of the administration's broader fight over public health. So basically, if you were hoping for a calm, boring office, wrong administration. Nearly 30 years after Tupac was killed in Las Vegas, the trial of Dwayne Keith D. Davis has finally begun. Davis, who is now 63, is accused of orchestrating the 1996 drive-by shooting that killed Tupac. He has pleaded not guilty. Prosecutors say that Davis helped organize the attack and supplied the gun, but they're not saying that he personally pulled the trigger. The case was revived after Davis publicly discussed his involvement and described the event in his 2019 memoir. The trial could last up to 5 weeks and may include testimony from former Death Row Records head Suge Knight, who was in the car with Tupac when the shooting happened, which means we're now potentially getting Suge Knight testimony in a courtroom in 2026 about something that happened in 1996. That's literally a Netflix limited series with a $40 million budget. And I genuinely cannot believe we're finally getting to the point where the Tupac matter is being litigated in court. Like, Tupac was 25 when he died, and now there are people involved in this case who spent more time discussing the murder than he was alive. This whole thing is a bizarre time capsule of the East Coast, West Coast rap feud, Death Row Records, Bad Boy Records, and 1990s Las Vegas. But after almost 3 decades, everyone is still trying to answer the same question. Who actually pulled the trigger? Okay, so now AI is now like an HOA problem. So the AI revolution has hit its most American obstacle yet. People don't want a giant data center living next door to them. Across the country, communities are pushing back across massive AI data center projects because of concerns over electricity, water usage, noise, and the impact on local infrastructure. They're saying that at least 75 projects worth around $130 billion faced local opposition in the first quarter of this year. Banks are now paying closer attention to that opposition before financing new facilities. Like, obviously, we understand where these people are coming from. We were told AI was going to make our lives easier. And now AI needs an enormous amount of electricity, enormous amounts of water, and enormous warehouses full of computers. So the future of technology looks a lot less like the Jetsons and more like an industrial park behind your condo. This is going to become one of the funniest unintended consequences of the AI boom. Everyone loves AI until the AI needs substantiation, and suddenly everyone are very interested in zoning laws. And it's also really funny that one of the biggest technological revolutions in human history may eventually be defeated by a group of suburban residents saying, "Not on my block." The final boss of artificial intelligence is not another AI. It's the homeowners associations. In Lindsay Life. Okay, so I was supposed to go scout, which means like check out this filming location for where we're going for yesterday. And I was supposed to get on a flight at like 1 o'clock on Monday. And everything was supposed to be really easy. I was going to wake up and go to the gym and then like head to the airport. That's like 10 minutes away from me. No big deal. But then I get a call at like 11 o'clock on Sunday night. And I'm usually sleeping by then, but I was like out late, like seeing some friends, and I was hanging out with my roommate because I never get to see her. And I get the call, "Hey, can you get on a flight first thing in the morning?" And I was like, "Oh my God, of course, like no problem. Let me just like pack and go to sleep in the next like 5 hours." Like literally only had 5 hours. So I wake up at like 5 a.m. to get on my flight, but I check my email to see that my flight on United got canceled. Then I got put on a Southwest flight that was supposed to leave at 9, but that got delayed until 11. So luckily I did go back to sleep for a few hours, but then I get on the plane to Chicago and I had to like run around Chicago. I got to take a tour of Wrigley Field, which was so cool because we'll be filming there. And I got to put my head through the scoreboard. It was so much fun. That was the best part of my day. And then like I had to hang out with everybody after because it's like such like a social thing, and it's like weird if I like go home and go to bed, right? So that is why I'm exhausted, and you probably got even more exhausted listening to that, and I'm sorry. Lindsay Lessons, a lesson by Linz. If you have a daily news podcast and you know you're going to be exhausted by the end of the day, maybe think about that earlier on in the day instead of like right before dinner time when you're starving and haven't eaten all day. Cooking tip of the day are eggs. Feedback, comments, questions, a nice Jewish boy looking for a date, email me at lindsay@thedailysarcast.com. Thank you so much for listening. If you got to this point, oh my God, I give you a lot of credit. Don't forget to sign up for the summer residency too. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow and I'll be in a lot better shape. Don't worry.